All right, guys, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going over boosting a post versus Business Manager, what it is, why you shouldn't boost posts, all sorts of fun stuff here. We're actually going to walk through how to set one up with you, all sorts of stuff. This is going to be super exciting. I'm pumped for this. I'm excited for you guys to learn. So essentially, number one, what I wanted to go over first is we never recommend boosting a post. We've worked with hundreds of PMU artists, and 97% of them that have tried to boost a post in the past had no success. There are the rare occasion that actually get it to work for whatever reason, like they just get results. And if that is one of you, if it's working, all the power to you. You can keep doing it. Either way, you can probably implement everything I'm about to show you and get better results than the boosted posts. But I'm going to explain why they don't work. So for those of you that don't know what this is, if you go to business.facebook.com, you will go, get brought to a Facebook basically page where you can create what's called a business manager. You log into your ad account and it's going to create a brand new business manager where you can set up ads from scratch. Some of you have done this already. Some of you haven't. So I'm going to kind of explain what it is. So number one, why boosted posts don't work or why they have a lot of trouble working. So essentially, this is a page you guys may have never seen before. This is choosing your campaign objective. What your objectives are is what you're telling Facebook you want to happen. So for me, I want conversions, right? Show your ad to people who are most likely to take action, like buying something or calling you from your website, right? These are people who are going to convert to your customers the best. Now, when you boost a post, you don't get to choose these necessarily. So you use a lot of traffic, engagement, and reach. And these are not great. Reach, show your ads to the maximum number of people. You may think that's good, but if 90% of those people are not qualified, not your audience whatsoever, now you're running into issues, right? Same with traffic. Send people to a website, app, Facebook, or event or something like that. Again, we would rarely ever use this. And then you have engagement. Get more page likes, event responses, or post reacts. Using these three, you will almost always get cheaper traffic, but that doesn't necessarily mean good anything, right? That could be terrible traffic coming from that. So we do not recommend using traffic, engagement, or reach. Now, there are times like when you're using a retargeting audience and you want as many people getting hit as possible, you can use reach. If you're testing certain variables or audiences, maybe you use one of these. But for most of you starting out, when you were trying to get more clients, you're going to most likely use one of two, okay? Number one is going to be conversion campaigns, because you're telling Facebook, I want you to find people to convert to clients. This is super important because Facebook's AI works exactly how you tell it to, right? So if you tell Facebook, I want engagement, it's going to go find the most people that are going to engage, meaning like, comment, post, share, and that's not going to get you sales, right? You want people to convert. Now, the other one we like to use a lot is lead generation. There's a lot of, you can use messages as well. But we're not going to cover that today. But use forms, calls, or chat to guide or to gather info for people interested in your business, right? This is the one I want to set up today because it's going to be the easiest. For conversion, I would recommend setting up funnels, landing pages, but we're not going to get into that today. That's a little higher level. So we're going to go over lead generation today. Now, you can name the structure here, but since you guys don't know the ad sets yet, maybe you do, we're going to get into that in a second. So we're going to create our campaign. It's going to bring us to this page. You'll see over here you have a campaign, an ad set, and an ad. So your campaign, think of this as a house, okay? Your campaign houses everything, all right? This is kind of your spending. This is what holds all your ads together and your ad sets. Your ad set is your targeting and your audiences that you want. Also a little bit of the budget and your placements, where your ads are going to get shown. And then the ad at the very bottom is the actual ad itself, what it says, where it's going to go, all sorts of stuff like that, okay? Or not where it's going to go. That's ad set, sorry. But just like your page you're running it on, you can do different types of stuff. It's using existing posts. This is where your media is going to go, the text is going to go, the link, depending on where you want to send traffic to. So we're going to start at campaign level, okay? Now, I like to name this based on what is going on in my campaign, right? Oh, I'm sorry, this is lead generation. So we're going to say lead generation, and then I'm just going to do the date. 6/2021. Awesome. So special ad categories. These are not relevant for most of you, but if you have something in the credit, you're trying to like post a job offer, you'll need to select it or else your ads most likely won't be able to run. But I wouldn't worry about that at all. So I have ASB. Now, there's two options that you do here, CBO or ASB. I'm going to explain what that is. So this is related to your budget, what type of style of spending you're doing. If you see right here, we have a campaign budget optimization. Campaign budget optimization will distribute your budget across ad sets to get more results depending on your delivery optimization choices and bid strategy. So what this means is if we come to ad set, right? This is our targeting and like where our ads are getting shown. Let's just say we'll do this. Audience 1. We're going to duplicate this. And we're going to name this one Audience 2. So CBO and ASB, which means ad set budget. I kind of label it like that. So let's say you have two audiences. If you're using CBO, campaign budget optimization, you are actually going to set your budget at the campaign level right here, right? So what's your daily budget? Make sure you're paying attention to lifetime and daily. Daily budget, let's say we want to do $100, right? Cool, we're spending $100 a day. Now what's going to happen is Facebook is going to run these ads, and then based on which one is getting better engagement or what it thinks is getting better engagement, it will spend more money on this. So it's not going to spend them evenly. Now, the other option is you turn campaign budget optimization off. You can come to ad set level. So now you're on your ad sets, and now you can set them at the ad set level. So now I can force Facebook to spend them evenly instead of going off which one is guessing is doing better for engagement. I personally like this one a little bit more recently, just because with the 14.5 iOS changes and everything, I don't trust their AI just as much as I used to. So I like having as little variables as possible going on. You don't want to like be making a bunch of changes, have all sorts of variables, because it gets really difficult to tell what's actually causing good results. We want to try to keep it as narrow as possible, changing only one thing at a time if possible. So I like controlling what is being spent at which level. This way, it's a little bit more of an honest test too, to see which one is actually winning versus like maybe this one spent 100 because Facebook's telling you it's going to be better. But in reality, if this other one spent more money, it would have done better. You would never know. So I like ad set budget, so we're going to keep it there for now. Now, for audiences, let's dive back into our ad set, right? I actually like naming these after I go through and make the entire thing. Don't worry about catalog or product set, any of this stuff yet. So you do have your daily budgets here. So set your daily budget if you're doing ad set. Now you can do a start date. So what I like to do is when you are launching new ads. So I will say, don't always just take this like for granted, or like not granted, but just don't take this like by my word. Make sure to test your own stuff, because you're going to get different results than we do. But I always set our ads now to run at 4 a.m. to start at 4 a.m. We, after spending 7 figures in the permanent makeup space on ads, we've learned for us specifically and a lot of our clients, we don't get sales from like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. We just don't get them. So it's kind of a waste of money for us to be spending ads at that time. So we like to start it at 4 a.m. And we don't also launch new ads on weekends because of buying behavior. So we try to very latest, we'll launch them at 4 a.m. on Friday. If we can't get that done, we will wait till 4 a.m. on Monday. Just buying behavior is a little bit different on those days. Now, what I would recommend is after launching your ads, to learn what's actually going on with yours, what data you should choose. You have this little breakdown tab, and you can do all sorts of stuff. So by delivery, you can do by their age, you can do by their gender, you can do all sorts of stuff by placement where your ads are getting shown. That's what I would start recommend doing. So like I would do by age, and then what's not going to show because these ads aren't running, but it'll tell you the exact ages that are actually becoming clients or leads or sales. So that way, then you'll know to come back to your ad sets and be like, okay, I'm actually getting 18 to 29-year-olds is like where all my stuff is coming from. Let's narrow down the ages, right? So same concept with time of the day. You can do that too. Now, I'm not going to get into custom audiences because this is going to be a little bit more complicated. You guys don't need to worry about this, but you can see there's a lot of custom audiences you can build. So if somebody watched or visited my website, I can tell Facebook, I want you to find people that look exactly like the people that are visiting my website in the past 180 days. So then it'll make these lookalike audiences. We'll make all sorts of different videos for this later on. I'm going to have you guys for now stick to the detailed targeting. So for ages, like I said, run your ads first, but you should have a general idea. Like for the PMU space, we always see 25 or 24 to 54 do really well. That age group always does super well inside of the PMU industry. But like I said, always test for yourself. So what I'd recommend is leave it 18 to 65 if you're first time running ads. And then after 3 days minimum, don't touch your ads for 3 days. Let it run for 3 days minimum. Even if you're not getting leads, not getting sales, you just let it go. It's in the learning phase, okay? After that, then do a breakdown that I showed you how to do with the age, and then come back and narrow it in. Same with genders. We always just do women for the most part because most of these go towards women. Now, let's get into the detailed targeting. So for this, what I would recommend starting off with or just looking into is you can type in a few things. So like I know the interest in here because we've been advertising for a very long time, but what you can do is click browse, you can do demographics, and then you'll see all this type of stuff. You can do parents, you'll get so many different things. What I would recommend is spend like an hour of your day just looking through this type of stuff, right? So you have demographics, you have interests, and then you'll see there's like business, there's all sorts of stuff. And then these break down into further things. So go through these, find your interests. But for now, I'm just going to use an example of permanent makeup, right? Awesome. Now, for you guys, what is also helpful is if you're doing local lead generation, meaning you're trying to get leads from around your area, try to aim for a minimum of 6 figures, okay? So I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So what I'm going to do here we go. Now you can see also you can change the radius of how many miles across you want to go. So with 25 miles, I have 33,000. That's not a lot for me. I want to aim for as close to 6 figures as I can if I want to get over that. But also a little tip here, locations, people living in or recently lived in this location, we don't want to do that. We want people living in this currently, okay? So make sure to select that. So right here is my potential reach. I have 32 to 33.9. I want that higher. So what you can do, you can manually type in or you can click suggestions and it'll find interest similar to the ones you just had. So maybe I want to do cosmetics, right? Maybe I want to do cosmetics if this is a PMU service. Cool. Look how much bigger that is now, right? Now you don't want to go too wide. You want to make sure it stays enough to where you have a controlled audience, but you can narrow this down. You can go wider and it'll severely affect your reach here. But I like to just keep it at 25, but you should know how far people are willing to drive to come to your services, especially if you do a good job. So that's a little bit of a breakdown here for detailed targeting. You do have the language portion here too. If you wanted to do just English speakers, or maybe you speak Spanish or another language and you want those people as well, you can add those here. Or maybe you're running Spanish ads only. We've done that a lot too. So just have only Spanish speakers. You can throw that in there. This is one thing where I struggle with this with advice for other people, because normally I would tell you to test by yourself, but this is one thing that is so consistent across every ad I've ever ran that I might just tell you to do this instead. So you can do automatic placements, but I'm going to do manual placements for you guys today. So this is showing where your ads are going to show up, okay? Now, what I would recommend is turn off audience network. The only things you should have on are going to be four different placements. Okay, these are called placements, kind of like where your ads are being placed. You should have 4 things on and 4 things only. Instagram stories, Instagram or Facebook newsfeed, Instagram newsfeed. 90 to 95% of our results come from these 2 things right here. Everyone thinks like when they're running ads, like, oh, stories, like my story is where everybody comes from. It's weirdly not the same with ads. You would think the same, but it's not. These just never, they do get sales. That's why we keep these ones on too. But 90% of the time, this is all we see, is these ones getting the sales. So that's what I'm going to tell you to keep on, as well as the 2 stories here. Now there was something I'm missing. I'm trying to look for it. They did just change it. Oh, here it is. Detailed target expansion. I would recommend don't touch this. Don't leave it on. Don't touch it. Reach people beyond your detailed targeting selection when it's likely to improve performance. So it's telling you if it thinks it can do better, it's going to go to people outside of these interests. I would recommend not doing it every time we have it on. It does absolutely horrific. So I just don't think anybody should have this on. That's totally me though. If you want to test it, I recommend you do. I am so big into test everything for yourself. So do that if you want to. So this will cover the ad section. There is, let's see, where is it? Here, optimize ads for delivery. There's different ways you can do this, like conversion leads, like different stuff basically. But I would just leave it as it custom comes. Don't change this too often. But now we are going to move on to the ad portion. So you can use photos, but what I would recommend is using videos for one reason only. Actually, I have multiple reasons, but you can retarget people based on how long they're watching your videos, which comes in a lot of handy when you're doing retargeting audiences or lookalike audiences, right? So if I'm running a video and someone watched my video 95% of the way through, which I recommend, do 30 seconds to a minute 30 max. Don't go over that with ads on Facebook or Instagram. But if someone watches it to 90%, so you have multiple filters. There's 25, 50, 75, 95, and 100%. If you can choose, and you can choose, I want to target people who watched 95%. I want to target people who watched 50%. And you can retarget them later on. You can't do that with photos. You can retarget them in other ways, such as like add people if they clicked the ad, people who clicked your call to action, certain stuff like that, which is fine. But I would highly recommend doing videos and make sure they're good videos. But for this example, I don't have a video queued up, so I'm just going to use a photo. So right here, you'll have create ad, use existing post, which I'll get into in another video some other time. In Creative Hub, I don't ever use this. I don't think I ever have used this. I just like using the create ad or the existing post. You'll come down here. Now you can do a carousel ad. So you can have multiple different photos and videos, and you'll like scroll through them. Basically, you've probably all seen this type of style before. But for now, we're going to stick with single photo or video. So with this, like I said, I would recommend doing a video, but like I said, I don't have one queued up. So you would click add video or add media. You can do image or video. I'm going to do add an image, and then you would load one in if you don't already have one. But I'll just click this, even though I just had this. But yeah, you will have a couple things here. Original, recommended. You'll have like different ratios you can select. You can allow Facebook to change. Oh, it didn't ask me. Normally it asks you if you want Facebook to change it based on where you're showing your ads. But now for primary text, I actually have some sample copy for you guys because I see way too many people have horrible copy. So the copy I'm going to show you actually did so well that I created it about 2 years ago, maybe more. And to this day, people are still copying this ad copy that I made. The one I'm about to show you brought a client we brought on. She had $0 in course sales, and it got her to 6 figures in course sales in 8 weeks. 8 weeks is absolutely ridiculous. So she made 6 figures in that portion. Now, there's a lot more that goes into that than the ad copy, like her funnel, what the product was, what the offer was, all sorts of stuff. But I'm going to show you kind of a breakdown of why we did what we did here. So this is the copy we originally created, and I see so many people copy my structure now, which I would recommend not copying my structure exactly like this, because it is starting to flood the marketplace, and I'm going to continue to change my copy and like try to be innovative with it and just continue to improve. And if you're just copying the next person you see all the time, you're never going to get ahead of your competition. You're never going to get the best results possible. Just make sure you're being creative and not stealing people's copy. So you can take the structure and change everything about it, but just be careful. Don't copy people. But here's what I wanted to go over. So when you look, this is what the ad will look like. You've actually maybe even seen some of my ads that we run for clients. But permanent makeup artist, the first thing you should do is call out your audience in some sort of way. Now, I also want to reference this is not the only way to write copy. I'm just going to show you guys what works really well for us, okay? Calling out your audience. You can do that in the way I did here, or you can do it with a question. I will say this is like a little hidden thing that no one would tell you and you might not know, but if you try to invoke negative emotion out of somebody, Facebook will actually punish your reach for it. So you can use pain points to call your audience too, such as, are you looking to get your dream brows? So that's a positive emotion, right? If I used it and rephrased it as in like, are you tired of your gross looking brows? Obviously you wouldn't say that, but you see what I'm talking about. If you use a negative emotion, you will get punished for it. So don't do that. You can use questions like, use positive questions, call your audience like, are you looking to get your dream brows done today? Or do you want to get the brows of your dreams? Do you want to impress your friends with your brows? Stuff like that. Okay. Call out your audience first. Now, since I didn't use a question, my second paragraph here was more of a question. Want to get ahead of your competition as microblading becomes more outdated. Ombre brow or ombre powder brows are becoming more and more popular every day. Now, you just want to make this is trying to hit an emotional pain point, right? And actually, our emotional pain point we're hitting is getting ahead of the competition. This is something that it's called the one of the life force 8. There are 8 things in our brain psychologically that are engraved that we're always thinking about. And one of them is being ahead of other people. You want to be superior. So that's the pain point we tried to hit here. Want to get ahead of your competition. It's called Keeping Up with the Joneses. If you want to learn more about it, there's a book called Cashvertising, and it is phenomenal for writing ad copy. So that's what we did. We wanted to hit that pain point, and then we wanted to give them a reason as well to get the service. Then we give them a little bit more education. Women are transferring from microblading to ombre brows, and you do not want to be the last artist to offer this service. Become certified in ombre powder brow technique allows you to, and then you highlight what's good about the service, why they want it, why they should even get it, why it's better than what they're currently doing. Offer a less painful, longer-lasting PMU service to your clientele. Charge more per hour than microblading. Provide an alternative to microblading for clients with oily skin. So just highlight your service, why they should even get it, what you're currently doing. Now, there's a couple options you can do to end this too, right? Now, this is, I would call a medium form copy. Short form copy would maybe be like only these first 3. And then long form is like a really, really long looking ad that maybe even tells a story. So with the call to action, that's this portion here, right? This is what you would call your call to action. Click the link below to claim your spot in my online course before the price goes up. That's a call to action. You're telling them to do something. You can add some scarcity or urgency before your call to action. You don't have to. Not a lot of people, some people are uncomfortable doing this, but for a limited time, I'm offering my online ombre brow training for only $199. The course includes 6 modules that include thorough explanations of the fundamentals you'll need to successfully offer ombre brows to your clients. So you can also add urgency or scarcity. With like urgency, right, would be like this offer is ending in 4 days. Like you have 4 days to claim this. Scarcity would be we have only 5 slots available. There's only 10 slots left. We're only allowing 20 people to get in at this price before it doubles, something like that, okay? So you can add that to this. We just chose not to. We do it a lot. If you go to some of the biggest companies in the world, it's all over their websites. And I'm not exaggerating. Like a good example is Mattress Firm. Excuse me. I have to keep clearing my throat. Come on. I'm waiting for it to share my screen. There we go. So now you can see. Okay, so you can see even they do this. Some of the biggest companies in the world are always doing this type of stuff. Up to 45% off, and then they're using scarce or urgency, right? They have a countdown, and then it's gone forever. So don't feel scammy. Don't feel weird. The biggest companies in the world are doing the exact same things. Just make sure if you want to be more authentic, like if you want more authenticity, make it an actual one-time offer or an actual real urgency. So like actually bump up your price after that amount of people come through. And then there you go. So make sure to have a call to action, guys. It's incredible to me statistically, if you don't have a call to action, how much less results you actually get. This can bump up your sales by like 50% or something insane. I remember, but when I was first learning copywriting and running ads, that was one of the things that made a huge difference. So imagine you are writing your ads for a 3-year-old person. You don't want them guessing. You don't want them making assumptions. You want everything to be crystal clear. If your 10-year-old can't read this and understand everything they just read, make it simpler. Keep it simple, okay? Now, click the link below to claim your spot in my online course. This is tell your audience what to do. Make sure to tell them the action to take next, okay? Now, headlines, I like to repeat the call to action from above. Either that or I'll repeat the offer itself. So I'll say like online ombre brow course, only $199, something like that. Or you can do the opposite and repeat your call to action. Click learn more to get signed up today. And we'll test these later on as you go. I also think it looks a lot cleaner when you capitalize the first letter of each word in headlines. It just looks way more professional. So I'll do that quick. Today. Perfect. There you go. So you have your ad. You don't need to use a description, but I recommend doing it. Maybe give a little bit of info on your company, like Validus Marketing, or permanent makeup artists. There you go. Cool. Now you also have your call to actions here. I always normally start with either learn more or get offer. There's all sorts of stuff we test with this. So there's no right answer. I just like to start with learn more. Now, when you're doing a lead generation campaign, you will have a form you get to make, okay? This is super cool. I'm going to show you guys kind of one of the forms we've used. Is it going to let me duplicate this? It will. Cool. So this is one we were doing when we were running ads to get course creators in the PMU space. So I'm going to show you some really interesting stuff you can do. So you name the form, you can do more volume or more intent. I don't think clicking higher intent is a good idea, because all it does is it adds a review screen to your form, which is not that helpful. There are way better ways to qualify people better throughout these forms. So I like doing more volume. For the intro, you can use the image of your ad. So whatever you're running on your ad, it will use that in the background. Or you can upload your own image. I just chose to upload my own image, and this actually ironically was the ad we were running. Get commission-based course sales. So repeat your call to action or your offer right here. Okay, this is the headline right here. Make sure you're repeating the offer. For the description, schedule a call today to learn if you're a good fit to work with us and get commission-based sales for your course or training. So you want to give them information here. You want them to know what exactly is, going on. And then questions. This is where you can get a lot more intent. So one of the big things I see that people do is they will just have this: full name, email, phone number. Here's why that's not always the best idea. You want that info. Absolutely. It's very important you try to get that information. But if you only have that, what tends to happen is Facebook has an autofill feature, and it will automatically fill in that information. So it's very low intent. Right? People are not that interested in actually taking the action. It becomes way easier for them. So what we do to start qualifying people more is adding custom questions, which you can do right here. Ask a question. You can make multiple choice, short answer, conditional, appointment request, all sorts of stuff. And then we make them have to physically type out an answer. Do you have an online course or in-person training? What is your course or training about? They give us answers. Then after they click next, they go to page number 2. Now we're collecting their info. Then we're going to a privacy policy, which will be right here. So you guys have to have a link to a privacy policy. We tend to throw our website in there because we have a privacy policy on there. But you have to have something linked here. And then lastly, you have your, what am I trying to say? Thank you page. So we like to do something kind of like, we don't want them to just end right there. You're almost done. Last step is to click the link below and schedule a call with our team to talk about getting commission-based course sales. So why we like to do this is because even if they don't go schedule a call, which we want them to, right? Our button says get commission-based course sales, and then we send them to a calendar to make a booked appointment. Even if they don't, we at least have their information from the previous one here, right? So now we can contact them and reach out. So that, my friends, is going to end our little portion here of getting your ads set up correctly for lead generation. We're going to do a lot more cool content like this in the group. We're excited. I'm glad this is kind of the first one to get a basis of, though. This should help you guys get started. You can take some action items here, ask questions with the group if you're confused, but that'll wrap this video up, guys. I'm excited for you to learn. I'm excited for you guys to be in this group, and we will see you in another video. What's up, guys? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below in the comments, or if you'd like us to run your ads for you, we have a link in the description to schedule a free one-on-one call with our team to see if you qualify. That's it for today, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.